Yeah, fine.
Oh, good, good. All right. AJ, I'm going to touch on your question before we actually get started. The the value of creating a PBN is not relevant to just doing local. Okay. We have Amazon books, Amazon products, Etsy products, affiliate products, local, and so on. There's no set in stone that PBN is only used for one purpose. Now, that being said, I want to give you guys some ideas that you hadn't thought of before. So to get started, I'm going to try and see if I can play a video for you. And to do it, I've got it. Well, let's see if I can just pull it up. How many of people on the call have ever used translation in any of the softwares?
No, not me.
Okay. Yeah. So I want you to try something. Anybody that's ever done it, say in YouTube, the difference between an English video and translating that video into other languages is dramatic. And I'm going to give you an example that was done by a friend of mine. He put up a video. I'm trying to remember the subject matter. In the English version, he got 32 views in his first month. And that's nothing to write home about. So he stuck it up in Spanish and got about 845 views in the same period of time. John, it's not a link to it. It's just a Skype call right now. Okay. So when it gets done, it'll record. It's recorded, so you'll be able to review it. So let me see if I've actually. Yeah, it will because of all the people in the room. So it will always say join call because of the number of people that aren't here, but they are in the room. That's all that means. So give me a second and we're gonna go. Ooh, who blasted me out of here? Okay, I'm gonna download this video, but I want to save it as, and I want to name. Oh, he's already named it, so I can get away with it. Oh, give me a break. Let's see. So now that we have that, I have it in my files. I can come back to the call.
All right.
And we're going to go ahead and play that as a basis to show you some ideas you may not have thought about.
All right.
And let's see if I get lucky enough to play. Looks like we can. Let me know if you can see this video. Can everybody hear this okay?
Not seeing your screen, Gary, just seeing you.
Oh,
And we
Yeah.
can hear you fine.
how about now?
Yeah, we can see your screen now.
Can you see the video?
Can't hear it.
Okay. let's do this different then. I will put the file in our chat. And as you have time, take the time to watch it, okay? So we'll come back and we'll go to chat. All right, all this video is showing is AI Factory now has the ability to grab content in foreign languages. So this means that you're not tied to English in building your sites or a PBN. So we're going to go start with basics first real quick. We drop this down. Okay. It's got a little background noise. If you're going to have a little noise, go ahead and mute yourself, please. And then unmute if you have a question. So what I want to look at here today is find something worthwhile. Here's my roofing ones. Yeah. Now I can look at this and I can tell you that this was actually made by the software. Everybody know how you can tell? Sometimes the software will leave an image that it tried to grab, but it didn't grab it correctly. Now, notice that we have our RSS feed down in here. Images, if we do it correctly, I suggest when you make a site, come back in, you're in the edit mode right here. And some of the things I like to do is take this image and we can add a URL to these images. You think that's any value to you on your sites? How many different URLs could you utilize, even if this is a buffer? How about our maps, if it's a GMB or an affiliate product, however you want to do it. But get creative, okay? Notice that I tend to have blank text boxes a lot of times. And I tend to do this, and we're going to stop and kind of dwell on this for a second, because I want you to think and get in the habit of doing this when you build your G sites. Whether you do it by hand or you do it by software, it doesn't matter. So let me ask you, why do I do this? Anybody have an answer? Or a speculation?
Spacer.
Sorry, Gary. What are you asking, Gary?
See this text box right here?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody see that?
Yeah. Well, you can put a load of URLs in there. You can put anything in there and hide it.
That's not what I want you to think. I want you to think on the terms of a PBN for a minute.
Oh, put your links in there. Interlinking.
No. Put your thinking caps on. What's the biggest weakness that a PBN has? Beyond the spam score, which we've already eliminated that. Now this is important, so I'm going to focus real hard on this. The number one problem is people build PBNs and then they don't have, and they have 500, 700,000 sites, and no time to add fresh new content to them. They're kind of dead in the water, don't you think?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So what happened if I took this particular one and I called it Text Doc PBN 1? And we named that in our drive. And we had this same doc, and I want to show you this in action. I'm not going to keep it, but I'm going to show you how this works. So let's come on down to my docs. And we're going to add some docs into the content here in a second. So I'm looking for one in special. I want one of the smaller ones, I think.
So dots with links, is that what you're saying?
Nope, not saying that at all. Here's what I'm looking for right there. This is Add Docs Master 50. So if I click this and I insert it in here, we're going to drag it down so it makes sense. Okay. Now, what do we have here?
It looks like just an image, but it isn't, is it?
No, oh no, we're gonna go look at this in a minute. But what I want to drill into your mind is I have this doc on 50 sites, right? So if we go into my docs, and this is the same doc, it's embedded. Got a lot of data there, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what happens when I add more data to this doc? Or content or anything else?
It updates on the G site.
It updates on all 50 that it's on. Almost instantly.
Oh, so you're putting that doc on other G sites as well?
Well, my purpose for this is maybe different than yours. Yours may be content, right?
Oh, yeah.
So let's go have a little fun. I want you guys to see this. And I'm doing it, I'm taking more time with this because I want you to understand this. So we're going to call this Test Doc PBN, right? Make that bold. Come up here. Make it a little bigger. Now remember what we got to do. We've got to take it off restricted, right? Anyone with a link. And we're done. Right? See that? So let's go back to our site. Go back to our docs. And see there? See where it's there? We're going to insert it. So here's where it's at right here. Everybody see that?
Yeah.
So if I go over to the actual test doc right here, I don't care if it's misspelled. Okay, So let's go real quick down to AI. Go to my article writer for a second. We're going to do this one in English for the sake of argument. We have a title for it. We want to, for the sake of argument, we'll just do a short article for a demo. Let's write. What we're trying to drive at, folks, is you have the ability, once you understand this concept, add content to an unlimited number of sites almost at the same time. Right? Now, here's your issue, is your content's exactly the same. Whatever you put, it's exactly the same. So for the most part, I tend to use RSS feeds for fresh content or calendars. It's still considered fresh content. But you have to be aware how this works. Now, here's my second question to you. Putting the image on, is the image considered content?
Yeah, of course.
Of course it is, right? But an image tends not to be considered in the same set of rules as written content, right? See, you're not gonna get slapped for that. All right, we're gonna take what we got, copy it. We're gonna go over to our doc. Wrong one, there's my doc. Okay. So at this point, we have our content in our doc, right? So let's go see if it updated. We haven't published this yet. Remember, if you make a change, what do you have to do? You have to publish. Come on, where's my content? It might take a little bit, but it will pop up and populate at some point. If it didn't populate by now, it might take up 15 minutes, and we're not going to sit here for 15 minutes, guys.
So when you say for the PBN, obviously this same document will appear in all the G sites.
Right.
And that's not a problem. So, because obviously the ultimate aim is to go the target URL to be given more power.
Right. We're going to talk about power in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go over to master URL sheet for a minute. Because if you look down what I've done, we have PBN 25, we have PBN 50, 100, and so on. What that means in here is it means I have a dock, a slider, and a calendar. Okay? Everybody clear on what we're talking about, so there's no confusion? So each of these, when it says 25, that means those three things are on 25 sites. If it says 50, they're on 50. If it says 100, they're on 100, all the way up to 1,500. Everybody understand that?
Yep.
And why we're doing it? That means that we can control all the content from your drive, not the site, but the drive itself.
Hmm.
All right?
Yeah.
How many people in here have shared a document from your drive with somebody else?
At some point, yeah.
Do you know if you're actually shared a document and you're both on the document at the same time, that you can actually watch the document being edited while you're on it with the person you shared the editing rights to? Patrick and I have shared lots of documents, and I have many times watched him in the document editing it while I'm watching it from my drive, which is where this concept came from. So
That's very powerful for
very powerful.
changing, you know, I mean, like you say, having complete control with a very minimal editing, you know, effort.
Very minimal. Here's the thing. Time-wise, there's no difference in the amount of time it takes me or one of my VAs to edit PBN 25 or PBN 1500. It's the same amount of time, because you're talking about what? 3 Google properties: a dock, a slider, and a calendar. Right? The only difference is how many sites it's on. But it's the same amount of time it takes to do it. There's no difference in time because you're only dealing with 3 Google properties that are on your drive. Guys and gals, when you understand the power of that, you won't sleep. Until you grasp it, it's just noise in the background. So we have to take it kind of slow till everybody gets that.
Yeah, Gary, it's taking me. I'm one of those that's a little slow. Can you just real quickly, just briefly, just explain what we've already done up to this point? What?
Okay.
The concept.
Let's review this real quick. Each of these sites right here, all of them have common properties on them. Some of them have it on 100, some are on 50, some are on 25, some are on 1,000, some are on 1,500. Okay? And that allows us to control the backlinks that build. We call them triple backlinks, but we control them from our drive. Okay?
Yeah, I think I can figure that out, but I guess I got lost on you had an image, the box, and you said we can put links in there. Somehow I got lost.
You can put anything in there. Let's go back to the site for a second. Okay. remember where the conversation started. There was a hidden text box right here. See this?
Correct.
So that text box, if it's on my drive, and it is, if it was on my drive, if it was created from here, it's just a text box. This one was created from here, and it's just a text box, right?
Correct. Correct.
So since I cut and pasted something, what do we have now?
You have the
Which means
Relevant
that
content.
we have relevant content that's the same as our target keyword stuff. It's related content, right? Now, when we look through my RSS feed in here, roof construction, 12 types of roofing materials. How much does it cost to install see, it's all related.
okay.
Right?
Yep.
That's why these sites, when we build them, don't get taken down. All right? We've all heard the stories, particularly with guys recently with news sites, but a lot of people lost a lot of news sites, right? Anybody heard that?
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
Well, 80% of this PBN is news sites, and I've never lost one. Not a single one have I ever lost. So I'm either doing something very right, or everybody else is doing something very wrong. Okay? So when I go through, I want to tell you the things that I believe make these things rank and pop up page 1 material. So I want to cover that, so make sure we do have that covered. So let's talk about it for a second. In our pages, we'll go to our different pages for a minute. And I want you to realize all these images, you could do all kinds of stuff with these images. So I want you to think about that. You want links, particularly for those of you doing local, you might be pushing their home site with your links right here up and above. But what about the maps? What about their maps for their GMB? Could you use it in an image, guys? Gals?
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
absolutely.
And how many, here's the question I wanna take for you. How many of you have, oh no.
Mine's gonna start barking soon.
Anyway, before I lose my train of thought, how many of you have POI?
no, not me.
Okay.
Me neither.
Points of interest. Now there's nothing that we do in the software you can't do manually. The only difference is time. But you can take these images and I would match them up with, say, maybe a point of interest link that's in your GMB. That's a possibility right there, guys. Now, the other thing with a map, let's go pull a map up for a second. Let's see. Okay. You see these little deals right here? These are points of interest. See the little target things? Now,
Yeah.
I didn't want to do that, but it's okay. Every spot all over this map is a new point or a new URL. These are called map variants. Okay? And every single spot on this map has a different URL.
Yep.
And there's ways to take advantage of them. Now, I'll tell you who's very good at both of these. Terry Power and Patrick are both very good. Somebody must be here. Oh, bear with us, guys. We have a herd of animals. 2 chai weenies. So, we want to put our maps always either on the site, somewheres, and this is Phoenix, Arizona, right? Now, I don't care where you put your map. We don't have to hide your map. Okay? So, we're going to add a map. And you can put a map on various pages, even if you already have it on one page. You can add it on more pages. Okay, now that we have our map there, I'd like to spread the map out a little bit. What else would you put on your site and why? Anybody have any thoughts on it?
Calendar.
Calendar? Absolutely have a calendar. Okay? So, depending on the number of calendars you have on your drive, and I have a lot of calendars. I don't know, I probably have a roofer calendar somewheres. Roof repair, Phoenix, Arizona. You think that would work here? Or roofer best practices? Roofer Phoenix 1?
Both, all three.
Let's just pick one for this page. And we'll insert it. Now, here's where I want to share with you what you have to do when you insert from here. Notice it's on agenda right there. See that?
Yeah.
And this is what the agenda looks like right there. So we want to go to the gearbox. And we're going to change. We're going to show we're going to show the user's time. And we're going to change. Let's go to weekly. And click done.
Aha.
And we're going to stretch this out. Oops, not too far. And so now we have a more pleasant view. And it's also clickable to the viewer that's not in edit mode. It should be clickable this way. Let's see. And I can actually open a new tab. I'm not going to. So we're now on a weekly. Okay.
Gary,
Now-
quick question. How are you saving these calendars to your drive? I've been building them in the calendar app, but I didn't know you got them in the drive some kind of way.
You're building them in the calendar app, you're using one of your accounts. Okay? And at least one, you might be using more than one. So when you go to your mail and you come up to here and you go to calendars, you're in your calendars. Now, sometimes you'll get an overlap where you get 2 or 3 calendars checked. So you might want to uncheck it. You can build calendars here from scratch. You can do it with the software, et cetera, et cetera. Everybody has that? So let's go back.
And that'll show up in my drive now.
Yes.
With all my other files. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Gotcha. Thank you.
Yeah. It's in your drive, but it's also specifically in the calendar file. This is calendar, so it has its own file, but it is also part of your drive. Right?
And the purpose of building the calendar, Gary, is to put a bunch of appointments on there that are links to other places?
No. Let's take one apart. All right. Because this was built with software, I can tell that this is number 1 down here. See that? When I open it, I see that the target is a map. See that?
Yeah.
Everybody see this? Now, in here is content that's related to whatever site you're going to put this on.
Okay.
Down here, we've attached 4 attachments. We're going to have Google Scholar article or links. We're going to have Google Search, Wikipedia, and YouTube are the normal 4. Okay? I call these authority docs. The reason they're called authority docs is because Google has determined that these 4, or actually 5, are expert on any given subject, no matter what the subject is. Would everybody agree that's true?
Yeah.
Now, Google Scholar carries citations. Everybody know what a citation is?
Yes.
Okay. So this, if I were to edit this, I can add more attachments. I can edit my links. Maybe this client quits paying me. I could remove this link and put no link or fill it in with a different link going somewhere else. Now, if I edit from my drive, I can do some crazy stuff in here. So this is apartment rental, so I'm not gonna put actual too much stuff in here because it's not related, right? But just to demo what I can do, I don't know which one this is. There's a roofer. We'll insert a slider. What happens if we took a whole G site that was related? What would that do for us? Come on, guys.
Build authority.
It's authority. You're right. It's an entire website of authority. So, see, we just added a G site, an image. Let's go find a slider. We can do slider 25. See, now if I save this, it would ask me if I just want to edit this or this and all the following, and I would choose the following. Now, I'm going to remove this stuff because it's not related. So the next row is going to have a share link. It's going to link to the first event. See, this is event number 2. It's going to link to event number 1. So it's a stack. It's part of a stack. Everybody understand that, right? Slow me down or stop me if you're not sure about something. So let's go back to our site. What else can we put in here that would help us?
Slides, a YouTube
YouTube.
video.
YouTube is a great one.
Hmm.
Okay. Now we have a whole link. We have a whole stack of YouTube videos listed in an attachment in our calendar, but we don't have any on our site. So if I were to choose, I'm gonna do a video search. And oops, learn how to spell, Gary. Anybody know why I put roofer repairs best practices rather than just roof repairs?
It's a more targeted long tail keyword.
I'm not going to get stuck with a bunch of ads for a competitor. So let's do a search. No videos found. I can't. Yeah, right. Now, the best way to do it, go grab one off of YouTube, but see, it's telling me nothing found, so I'll have to hit Chris up on that. We're going to cancel that. You could still do it with a URL. Sheets, I'm probably going to go to a sitemap page and hide that kind of stuff. Master URL. Now, I kind of skimmed over master URL, but I want to back up and touch on it real quick. The magic that makes the PBN work is because every single site has the master URL sheet embedded on it somewheres. So all these sites are interlinked in a spider web effect. It's not a stack where you went 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, 5 to 6, and so on. In other words, out of the 1,700 some sites on here, every single one is linked to every single one. In other words, let me simplify that for you some. If we had 100 sites, not 1,700, but if we had 100, then all 100 are linked to all 99 other ones. Everybody understand that?
Yeah.
So I broke away from what was traditionally done to change the whole concept somewhat. Now, what kind of effect did that have? And I don't want to get sidetracked. I want to stay where we're at over here. But out of the first 1,000 sites, over 700 were page 1 properties. And I don't know that anybody's ever accomplished that before. I've never heard anybody that's done it. I won't say it hadn't been done. I just never heard of anybody ever doing it. Now, some of the things that will help you, I haven't used prior to. Table of contents. The reason I haven't done a table of contents, because basically your table of contents is up here with your pages, in a sense. So I'm going to show you some tricks. Particularly, I'm glad this is still here.
Hey, Gary, before you leave the topic of master URL, how do you embed that
on your site so it's not visible to the whole world to see, oh, wow, here are the 1,000 sites that.
I am gonna cover that right now.
Gotcha. Thank you.
That was where I was headed. Because
Hey, Gary, another
Yes.
question on your master doc or your master link sheet. Are you linking to, in other words, are you building niche PBNs where all your roofer sites are linking? Or is your roofer sites linking to your lawyer sites, linking to your dental sites?
yes, they interlink.
Okay.
And they interlink and they share power with each other. So let me kind of, before we go forward, let's kind of dig into this a little bit.
So that's regardless of whatever
We're okay.
category that you're aiming for.
Right, a G site in its base form has a DA of 97, right? Everybody know that?
Mm-hmm.
It has a page authority of 41. Some people say 43, 41 is it's all in the same neighborhood, right? And so when we add other properties, such as maps has a 98 and mid 40s. Okay. We have a slider, which has I believe a 98 and a 41. A calendar has only a 92 and a mid 40s on its page authority. And what we're doing is pushing this accumulated authority. It's accumulated that we're adding to our site, pushing extra power that is read by Google and scored and added up to give you you're using inherited authority. Okay.
And this is all just done through the Excel site, embedded on each one.
All the properties embedded on each one. Properties, Google properties. Sheets is a property. Sliders is a property. Maps is a property. YouTube is a property. A doc is a property. Google Keep is another one. Link, it's a property. And so on and so on and so on. Okay? So we're using accumulated authority that we built into our pages that people can't see. It's not able to be tracked by any of the tracking places currently used, right? So let's go back up. Everybody has that principle down, right? That's pretty simple. So we want to hide some of what we're doing because we don't want it to get out there. So one of the things I want to do is show you how to make changes here. Now, what kind of keyword is home?
Generic.
It's not a keyword.
No.
So what use is that to us? So we're going to go to properties. I'm going to take this word home out of there. Let's add one more word in here. And make it a little better. And so now we've got a keyword, right? So let's go here. We're going to add a subpage. It was already there, but you couldn't see it. So if we go here, and let's take a look at what we have on this subpage. And notice this sitemap is hidden from navigation. Okay?
Mhm.
If I went here, I could click hide from navigation. But we're in this one. So I can actually delete this now that I don't want to do that right yet. But so let's do this. We're going to add something in here. So we're going to go back to insert, come down to sheets, master URL sheet, insert it. Now, I tend to, no matter what, hide this stuff as much as I can, but you don't have to because it's hidden. Right? Everybody see that?
Yep.
What else can we put in here?
So it's hidden in the sitemap.
Yes, it's hidden in the sitemap. And it's hidden from navigation. So anything we want to hide, we can hide it here. Now, let's go back to our pages for a second.
Gary, how is that master URL map made, those URLs? Is that a program that I need to buy or something?
No. I built this PBN mostly manually myself. I built once, there's a few that were built with software, like this. This was built with software.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? But the bulk of them I built by hand, and I'll cover how I did it to save you a lot of grief and time.
Okay, so you'll show us how to get those master URLs?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
So let's just, for sake of argument, say I just built this site. I go right here, I copy the published link. Now, you don't want this link. Why? Why do we not want that link?
That's showing the sitemap link.
But if that was my site, I would go over to the master URL sheet, come to the bottom. Now remember, you can make notes. You could do all kinds of variations. These are all home pages. I didn't put any of the other pages anywhere in this. It's a little overkill for as big as I've got this. But if I wanted to put that in there, see, I could. But we're going to go edit. We're going to remove it. Oh, booger. There we go. So that's how you do it. Basically, while you're in the edit mode of any of these sites, you could come and grab your link right there. So you do them one at a time. Okay? Now, I want to go to the other sitemap, the first one I made, so you can see an actual sitemap is in this one.
Gary, just real quick, what you just showed us, is that were you talking about the master URL or that's later?
That was the master URL.
And you were showing us how to build it?
No, I'm showing you how to get the link for it once you have it built.
Okay,
Okay.
okay, thank you.
So notice I've used this one for a lesson 3 times because you can see 3 sitemaps, all hidden from navigation. I use a site called Pro Sitemaps. It's free up to a certain point, so you could actually use it for a little while before you had to pay anything, depending on the number of sites. So I would actually create an actual sitemap, or if it's a G site, I'm going to put a piece of software in the Skype today. I better do it while I'm thinking about it. Oh, where you at? Let's not do it that way. Let's go on up to WeTransfer and do it the right way.
Yeah, I appreciate you posting this, Gary, because I tried Pro Sitemaps on my G site, and it went out, crawled, and it said it discovered 6 pages, but it was unable to index any of them or crawl and or create the sitemap for them. So if you've got a workaround to that, I appreciate it.
Yeah, but it's for another day.
So why wouldn't you use Google Search Console for that? Because it would create a sitemap for free.
Well, it struggles with G sites, and really what they want you to do is upload a JSON file for your sitemap, and this software I'm going to give you creates that JSON. Okay? I'm going to put 2 links in your Skype. One.
We still need to upload it into the HTML, or are we able to just post it like as an added element?
Well, it's going to go create the sitemap for you for a G site. That's what it's going to do. Now, I'm hoping Chris will make a tutorial of it. I certainly don't have time, but this next one is a video that shows you how to, it's going to give you a walkthrough doing what we're talking about right now, hiding stuff in a sitemap. Now, if you don't have an actual sitemap, you can still name the page sitemap and hide stuff on it. It's still going to serve its purpose, right? Because what's our purpose here? Make sure that somebody can't come along and see what we're actually doing. Okay? So, we're going to go back to the home page for a minute. And we're going to go into some other sites. Actually, I could have used this one too. But for the sake of argument, I'm going to show you a quick way to make a site with all what you need on it for the most part and save you some time. So for sake of argument, let's say we're building these dental sites, right?
I don't know if I'm the only one hearing it, but it sounds like Gary's breaking up.
Am I breaking up, guys?
No, not for me.
Okay.
No, you're fine.
For me.
All right. So if I'm making, see, I tend to, here, let me break it to its basics. When I make a site, I generally make the first one with a keyword only, say monodental implants. And from there, I localize it. So if I'm picking a region that I'm trying to build up, maybe Dallas as an example, or Chicago or something. And then I'll start working the sub-cities, right? So how would I do that? Quickest way. It's a lot of work to build one of these, right? 5 or 6 pages and so on, so on, so on. Right? So I could go in here. Wrong place. Sorry about that. And I'm gonna make a copy. And so I'm gonna change.
Gary, I'm not hearing anything.
Leave and come back. Let me type that in there.
Loud and clear this time.
Yeah, very good here. So you can clone the G site and just change the keywords and
Yeah, we're getting ready to show you that process real quick. So we're gonna take Modesto out of there. You spell Van Nuys. I can't remember. Let's see what I can spell. So now we're creating, and here's what else. We got to take that off, right? Entire site. You could also put it on my drive. Copying the site. Now we have some edits to do real quick. Can't spell very good. Okay. We now have, we could add a logo, but where we're really going to come in is we're going to have to edit this information, our content. So you're going to use some kind of AI to do it and do it real quick. Now, when you're doing it, I would, as much as possible, either leave a few keywords there linked and get rid of the content around it as much as possible. You could do that, or you could take and do something like this. Place these, come up to your link, add you a link. Okay? There we are. We're going to apply it. And there we just added a new anchor text. You can do that. Up to you. Whatever you think's best and fastest. So you got 5 pages you have to create a little content for. Right?
So
Some of this content's kind of small. Yes.
So just changing the location and just changing the field link. That's how you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you guys this. Basically, how long am I talking? It takes me to clone this and change the content around.
About a minute.
Now, do not forget to add your map to your new location. I don't know what page it's on, even if there is one, but I'm not seeing one yet. I bet that's it. That's it. See, it's still Modesto, right? So trash that. Add your map. Select it. Live it. Done. And since you did that, remember when we get finished with any edit, you gotta publish again, right? We're not see, this isn't live here. It's unpublished. Okay?
So would you have a different calendar for this location?
I possibly could, but I'm more likely to have, it's more likely to have keywords versus location. In other words, this was probably done not based on a location for that. Keywords is more important. Who the heck is mowing my grass? Boy, they got horrible timing, don't they? Horrible timing.
Gary,
Yeah.
I had a separate question about the RSS feed that shows up, showing up on the roofer site. How
This one
how are
here.
you, that's it there? Okay. So is there a property to the right in the margin there that's RSS, or are you just creating that
Embed.
out of text block?
Embed.
It's an embed. Okay. And you're finding your feeds out there online. You're getting your RSS feeds and embedding them separately.
I use two sites. Particularly, one is called 5 Filters,
Mm-hmm.
and the other one is RS to HTML, or called Bluegle.
Bluebell.
Bluegle, but if you search RSS to the number 2
Mm-hmm.
HTML, you'll find it. Let's just do it so you can see it. I'd rather you see this. So and you can always tell, see it says bluegle.net there, the yellow, see that? So if we have, I believe this is 5 Filters, it is. Who the heck is calling me? Guys, give me half a second. Hey.
I think Bon's on the way back with Tess, but I told him I was making goulash for lunch for everybody, and I went to go get them to tell them it's ready, and they were gone.
Oh, well, that may be, but hey, I'm on a training call, so I gotta let you go. All right, thanks. So we're gonna take, we're not gonna keep this because it's a different website. But can you see this right here? And see this right here? It even pulled the click here link at the announcement bar. See that?
Yeah.
So what we have to do to get that RSS feed is right click, and we want to save link as. Oops, wrong one. Sorry about that. Want to copy link address. Been a while. So once I have this RSS feed for an entire site, 5 pages, I can go over to, and I put the URL of the feed in here. I don't limit the length. See that? Now, by default, RSS feeds are JavaScript. And we can't use JavaScript in a G site. So we're going to click More Options. And we're going to get rid of JavaScript and go to an iframe. Do I see this? iframe. So we're going to submit and get our code. And we get to look at it. See, we see down here, we get to get a preview of it. So we're going to copy this iframe. Go to our site. See what we're at. Let's put it on a different page. Well, won't matter because I'm not going to keep it anyway. So we're going to do an embed. Cancel that. I need. Ooh. There we are, guys. There we are.
Nice.
So everybody followed that, right? How we did that?
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to delete that because it's of no value. Well, it's keyword wise it is, location wise it's not. Since it is by keyword, we'll go ahead and leave it. You know why I left it? Because this stuff changes. RSS feeds change. So we can leave that. It won't do anything if I don't hit publish. It won't be there. But remember, this is what? This is a clone, right? And we still have to change all the content here. So for the sake of argument, I think I'll leave it until I change the content. But if you do this, once you change your content, publish, or you don't have, this won't go live. Okay?
Okay.
Any questions up to this point?
No.
Okay. So I predominantly use AI Factory to change my content. So we're gonna reset this. We'll go ahead and do one piece of content in here. So when I'm thinking, when I put my hat on to think about a PBN, I want to think it in 2 ways. I want to think about a mini PBN 25, 30 sites, or I want to think of a big PBN. Anybody have a thought on why I say that?
Say it again.
When I think of a PBN, I'm thinking in 25 to 30 sites only,
Mm-hmm.
or I'm going really big. So I'm doing mini PBNs or big ones.
Depending on the competition.
It's a good thought process.
There are
Anybody else have a
difficult.
thought on it? Come on, guys. What you thinking, hat on?
Is it for more keywords? Ultimately, it's more
Think of it.
keywords.
Let's drill down for a second. If I did a mini PBN, chances are all the sites are exactly the same with the same keywords, the same target or similar targets, and they're all related to each other. In other words, they might be all roofing sites or all lawyer sites or all what have you. So I could target a specific area, say Dallas, Texas, and all the subsidies, Fort Worth, for example. I could take all the subsidies and do Dallas, Fort Worth area. And it's all related content because they're all the same. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Does that work? So would you see a reason for doing a 25, 30 site mini PBN?
So you
Yes.
can go. So you can go after smaller areas, concentrate on smaller areas.
Well, let's think it another way. Let me give you a whole different reasoning of a way to think about something. Remember, we put that video in the chat when we first started, right? If I were to go to two cities come to mind in particular, actually three, Miami, Florida, how many languages do you think might be spoken down there?
Mm. 3 or 4, at least.
I'd probably say closer to a dozen.
Mm.
There's
Loads.
a lot of, there's Jamaican area down there. There's Spanish, there's Cuban area down there. There's Dominican Republic, Haiti. A lot of Haitians live down there. And we go on and on. There's some Polish. There's some Jewish factors down there. And I'm probably missing half a dozen. So, and I guarantee you, you could do a language PBN on any single niche. Nobody else has ever done one, but I'd like to give you that thinking process that I think it'd be worthwhile to do, don't you?
Definitely, yeah.
And how hard would it be when you have the right equipment to do it?
Easy.
Easy
cake.
peasy.
Piece of cake.
Easy peasy. That's the right answer. That's what I'm looking for. Is anybody finding any excitement in any of this?
Yeah, this is incredible, Gary.
Okay, we haven't even made it to the ability to put up that 100-page site. We're not going to have time today. So here's what I suggest we do, if it's okay with y'all. Next week, I've already arranged for POI and Backlink Factory. So what do you think about the following week? We'll do part 2 to PBNs. We'll refresh in the beginning, and we'll run through the software and do a 100-page site.
When you say next week, you mean this coming Friday? Because remember,
This coming Friday, Randy's doing POI and Backlink Factory. Okay? So I don't want to change that schedule, because if I do, it might be a month where I can get him to do it, because his time is precious, just like ours is, right? So we'll the following Friday, not this one, we'll do part 2 of this one. That work for everybody?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
I've got about 3 minutes before I got to be on another webinar. So we're going to stop right here. Your recording will be in the chat. Okay? And guys, it's been a pleasure, and I've enjoyed spending time with you.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Gary.
Gary.
Thank you for your time.
All right. Take care,
Thank you,
everyone. We appreciate it. Thank you for spending time with me.
Bye now.